All right, we're going to get started. If everyone can find their seats. Our camera crew, are we rolling back there? Yes? Awesome. We're going. My name is Lauren Zito. I am the video production faculty, and this is Sean Moody, the graphic design faculty for Portfolio as well. I want to thank you all for coming to the winter portfolio show for video production and graphic design. Can everyone hear me okay? It's spring. It's spring, not winter. It all blurs together after a while. So, but hopefully you've had a chance to walk around and look at the graphic design and the video production and talk to them, talk to the students, get a sense of their work, and offer your feedback and discussion. They've all worked very hard. Everyone's put a lot of work to make this day happen. They've been sweating bullets as we got closer and closer. I know the video production have. I'm not sure about the graphic design. Mr. Moody will explain the portfolio for graphic design after we've done our part. Actually, let's go here. We have a number of awards. We have Best in Show awards in both video production and graphic design. So we have runners-up, and we also have Best in Show. For video production, we have 2 runners-up and 1 Best in Show, and graphic design, I believe it's just 1 Best in Show. Before we go any further, let's have to go through the slide because that's important. We want to give a special appreciation to Liliana Baser, the promotional design for the show. She did all the graphics. It's the graphic you see on the posters. It's on the website that you saw, as well as the beginning of this slideshow. And also a special thank you to Mr. Scherter. He's our web development instructor, and he put together the website last minute. So let me talk a little bit before we get into the awards for video production. For video production, they are required to create 4 pieces, one of them being pure audio. They create 3 other original pieces. So everything you've seen has been created this quarter. Nothing is rehashed from previous student projects. They are all brand new original pieces. They build their own website from scratch. And also, they create their own branding, business card, resume. So everything you see here is brand new this quarter. They also create and finalize their sizzle reel. A sizzle reel is something that appears, you probably saw it when you walked around, it appears on the main website, so it's the first thing people see. It's sort of, in the video production, a sizzle reel is pretty much like a business card for videography. You can talk about it, that's great, but we all know that phrase, show me your work. So that's what employers like to see. They come in, okay, that's great, you got a nice website, let's see what you can do. So it works as sort of like a calling card, a business card. And during this whole time, they are obtaining or frantically obtaining a internship for the next quarter, which is coming up. And graphic design does the same thing. So they are very, very busy. And they don't sleep a lot, but they're planning on sleeping right after this show. So, without further ado, why don't we get started? So, in video production, our second runner-up is Tyler Varvel, End of the World Newscast. Hold on, Tyler. Wait, come on up. Come on up. Come on up. We're going to play your piece. Let's hope everything works correctly. So actually, before we play it, let me say there were some comments, because I know you like to hear comments. He did an End of the World Newscast. And Amazing motion graphics, super smooth motion, a very well matched for industry standards. Whip pans are great, edits are seamless, really great work with the editing, and motion graphics are fun and well put together. You ready, Tyler?
Good evening. This is Channel 5 News with Bart Bixen. I'm your host, Bart Bixen. Recent discoveries of large fuzzy cocoons have been appearing in multiple countries across the globe. We have Dr. Diego Douglas with us today to explain this strange phenomenon. Dr. Douglas?
Yeah, thanks, Mark. We have large cocoons popping up all over the world. We're observing one right now from a safe distance to see what might hatch. We have never seen anything like this before. Bart?
Pretty intense stuff there, Diego. Make sure to keep us updated. In other news, the president has declared a state of emergency given the national widespread panic that these cocoons are causing. This strange weather doesn't seem to be helping much either. Now, here's the weather with Wilson Wilder. What's it like out there, Wilson?
Thanks, Bart. There seem to be small storms in the region, but the weirdest part about it is that the clouds seem to be vortexing, almost creating a tornado-like weather pattern. I will keep you updated, Bart.
Thank you, Wilson. In breaking news, my wife brought me a funnel turkey and cheese sandwich and brought it into work for me today. She even retrieved a pudding cup in the chaos. If you haven't heard, the power grids have been shutting down across the globe. We go to Fred Frickle, who has been witnessing a hatching of one of the cocoons. Fred? Fred, are you there? Okay, well, this has been an unusual news report with Bart Bixen, Channel 5 News. Have a great end of the world.
All right. Good job, Tyler. Oh, something else is playing. Okay. All right. For first runner-up, Josue Hernandez Guendit. So this one is, we're going to play the making of Skywalker for his Punisher, so it's a little longer, but it shows some important behind the scenes on how he created this. You ready, Josue? Okay. Let's hope it works. All right. Yeah. This is the long one. Settle in. Oops. Let me make it hit play first. There we go.
Hello, my name is Josue Hernandez, and I am the creator, director, and editor for the fight scene Anakin vs. Punisher. So a one-take fight scene is when you record an entire, basically it's a fight scene, but it's maneuvered through an entire building or an entire section. The camera will continue rolling, and it's just one camera. But what makes it even more interesting is there are actually cuts, but the way the camera moves and the way everything is placed makes it look like there is no cut. It makes it look like it's just continuous. The process for Anakin vs. Punisher was really interesting. From the very beginning, I kind of always wanted to do a one-shot fight scene. I was inspired by Daredevil, The Punisher, Jessica Jones, Defenders. And what made it interesting is theirs is professionally made. They planned it for months, years, in fact. And I feel like I wanted to do that. I did it on a smaller scale. Again, these characters were not the main purpose of the fight. These characters were put in there because they're iconic and people can recognize these characters. But in all honesty, if we were going to do it without characters, we could just get two guys and just fight. But that wasn't the point of this. And I guess without further ado, here is the project, Skywalker vs. Punisher.
The process for planning the choreography and all that stuff, it was about a month, 2 months. The actual like editing and stuff like that was about a couple weeks, but the choreography took the longest out of everything.
So the editing took me about 2 weeks. It took me about a little bit over 100 hours. It was a really long process. When it came to the audio, because when we filmed it, it was me giving them cues and commands, so we couldn't really use the audio. So we had to make the entire audio from the lightsaber noises. We got those online because we couldn't create it, but everything else, like the punches, the walk, them walking, them moving their clothes, the grunts, the weapons being thrown, the elevator, everything. We did that all by scratch.
The process for dubbing over my sound effects was really cool as well. It was kind of strange at first, just being told to like, hey, grunt into a microphone. But after that, it was really cool because I like doing voice acting work and stuff like that. So it was really cool to be able to kind of make the project seem more alive and more natural by like adding sound effects to it.
The first timeline, because I basically parted in 3 parts. The first one, it's in 16 parts. The second one's in 26. Because it's in 26 because I basically made it into rooms and then location. And I did that with every sound effect we recorded, every grunt, every punch, every effect that we did. It's all edited in a way that if you can hear them, if they're far away, they're far away. If they're close, they're close. If they're left, and right, and it depends on the room they're in. So the lightsaber, it took me a good 16 hours to do. The way I did it though was because again it was pretty dark. So if it's dark, the tracking won't work as well. And because I filmed it in 24 frames, which is more cinematic, the tracking wasn't going to be as well. So I came to the conclusion of doing everything by hand. And yeah, that's basically the project I created. Again, it was a hard process, and it was definitely, it feels long even though it was a short span of time, but it was something amazing I created, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video. And yeah, thanks for watching.
I forgot to add some of the comments for Josue. Oops, we already saw that. We don't see that. Okay, all right, you can look at that later. The piece was entertaining, and I must say that the behind-the-scene elements really added a lot of value to this. It demonstrated certain skills and creative thinking that was not necessarily present in the fight scene alone. I'd also like to note that I recognize how the choreography and editing are tied into one another, so there are challenges in post. This goes a long way to demonstrate the level of pre-production that was put in. The added grunts and sound effects were impeccable. Amazing work. Loved the neck crack portion. That's actually a real comment. Head rings, everything very well executed. All right. We ready for the last one? And for Best of Show, Tyler Worcester, you need the soft skills. All right. Worcester's comments. I could see this video actually used as a corporate sales video. Great use of graphics, music, and statistics. Absolutely flawless. The transitions, figure movements, track text, everything is very organic, very well executed. The footage is amazingly lit, sharp, and graded. The graphics are well thought through and very clean. Perfectly matched for a modern corporate video. Not a negative comment at all.
Securing your desired career is a vying task. The key is having soft skills. These are the traits needed to succeed in the workplace and successfully work with or lead others. These skills include listening, leadership, creativity, communication, and many others. Soft skills are important because they help you communicate better with clients, form better workplace relationships, and become more professional in your desired field. These skills will make you more effective when it comes to interpersonal relationships, and on average, 61% of employers look for 10 specific soft skills. Soft skills cast you as a valuable asset to your organization or agency. Learn more about soft skills and how learning to use them can benefit you at www.skillsyouneed.com and utilize them in your field today, because you need the soft skills to perfect the hard skills.
Excuse me, I have a cold that I'm battling, so I apologize if I have a porcupine in my throat. For anyone that knows that commercial, you'll understand. But to kind of reel things back a little bit, I really wish that I could have starred inside the Skywalker versus Punisher video. I'm actually kind of insulted I was not approached to at least be an extra. I mean, that's like right up my alley, but that's okay. It's all right. Soft inside. I bruise like a peach. You guys don't know that. Sequel, yeah, part 2. All right, I'm available. I'll have my agent contact you, or you contact my agent, either way. So, but again, I really want to thank everyone for coming out. This is a really cool opportunity. I guess cool is a good word to use. This is a cool opportunity for the students to get to showcase their work that and their skill sets that they have accumulated over the past 2 years, and those are the hard skills and the soft skills that we just saw the video of for us. It's a good segue. Again, my name is Sean Moody. I'm the portfolio graphic design instructor. And similar process to Ms. Zito, the graphic students unfortunately don't have some of the motion and animation involved in their work. So it can be a little bit more of a challenge because we don't have the luxury to have all those, you know, captivating sequences that kind of hold the audience, you know, and kind of entice them into making a decision for a return on investment, whether a product or a service. But the students' work is sent out and evaluated by judges, and it's accumulation of their work. And what we try to emphasize to the students that they utilize their strongest campaign to display their best work through the course of the 2 years that they've been here. So the unique thing about the graphic students, and this is kind of a global situation, video and web students when we have a web group, what the students may or may not realize, but in that first year, they're really getting, you know, going through this adaptation where they're actually being instructed and they learn the applications and how to become more proficient and efficient at the various Adobe software. So at first, you know, you're kind of going through this hardware phase, if you will. And then as we migrate through it, they learn at the end of that first year and at the beginning of the second year, they start to learn how to create and design with the software, which is obviously the stepping stone that we want to take. And then towards the end, and these students can tell you the amount of work that they put into it, and I'm sure that they're probably so tired of me saying it over and over again that, you know, it's great to be a good designer, but you can't just simply keep designing things that you like or what you think is cool. We get into the field because, you know, you have to have an understanding about what it is that the audience wants, all right? So that, what we finally kind of learn is that with this software and hopefully through the theory classes, the students start to finally learn how to communicate and drive home a message to the audience, you know, for wherever that company is or for wherever that client is. So hopefully, you know, it sort of comes to, they start to realize that now because you know, our role was to prepare them so that when they get out into the field or, you know, get hired by an employer, they do understand what it takes to attract the audience for whoever they're working for. So, but we have a small group this quarter, and graphic design. Our best to show is hand a chair. You have to come up and wait there for a moment. So, some of the judges' comments, and there was a long pause on this when it was emailed to me. Mr. Rogers with an exclamation mark. You simply cannot go wrong with Mr. Rogers. I would agree. The campaign is extremely realistic and reaches the projected audience on many platforms. The layouts are clean, easy to identify as a collaborative campaign, and the color scheme is crisp and fitting, well done. So we had a magazine. If you had a chance to take a look at Hannah's work back there, a direct mail postcard, table tent. So the big thing that we try to emphasize to the students, the graphic students, is to reach the audience on as many different platforms as possible because we simply cannot rely on simple television commercials or a direct mail piece as an individual advertising mechanism to kind of secure revenue. So congratulations. Excuse me. So I want to thank all the judges that participated. I want to thank everyone that came out and supported the students in their work. Appreciate you being here. And any closing thoughts? That is it. So thank you again for being here and supporting the students. And that's a wrap.